Hello everyone, welcome to the Go Code Snippets channel. So this channel will talk about the Go programming language and doing different things with the Go programming language. So in today's video, we'll be talking about Go Embed, which is basically the package embed. But before we go into the video, I would like to mention that if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you're not in the channel, you'll be watching videos, but for some reason you haven't subscribed and you've been gaining values from the videos, please make sure you also subscribe. And also after watching the video, if you like what you've seen, make sure you leave a thumbs up and share the video also if you like. So that's it. So the Go package embed basically, what actually made me run into it was I was actually trying to, because for a very long time I really didn't do a lot of things with templates and writing templates, passing templates and all those stuff. So I came back to it just of recent and I found out that things have really changed a bit. So what I'm saying is that if I do package main, then func main. So for example, if I have like a template file here, say I just call it text.tmp for example. So if I try to read this file from my main.go, I can use the package text template or HTML template. So I can do template. So from package template, I'm calling the function must. And I want to pass the file so the file is text.tmp. So I can just execute the template. So I can call the execute method. So it takes in a writer and also the data you want to pass into the template. So for the writer, I'll just pass in standard output and the data is new. So this returns an error actually. So I can just check for the error. If the error is not new, so let's just print out the error. I will see what the error is. So font. Oh, I didn't import OS. That's what the squiggly line is. OS main.go. What is happening? Oh, sorry, there's nothing in the template. That's the reason. I was wondering that was wrong. Let me just put hello world. So if I run the code again, I'm having hello world. So that is basically it. But one very thing I noticed is that if I create a folder and I call it helpers, let me just do it helpers. And this helpers, I'll have my helper.go. So I'll just simply create like a templates folder. I'll move this template into the templates folder. So in my package, in my helper, I'll do package helpers. Then I want to create a function load template. So what function load template does is just takes in the name of the template and it returns a pointer to template from package template. So what this simply does is it will just load the template and return it to us. So I'll do template must. I can just copy everything I have here. And put it here. So what I'll just be doing is I'll just simply do from this current directory I want to go. So the way it used to be is I'll go from the current directory into the folder that the template is, which is the template folder. Then I'll just concatenate it to the name of the template. So this is simply what I want to do. Then it will do the templates. Then it will just simply return the template. So this is what function load templates does. So if I try to call load templates as my func main, so I can do tpl should be equal to helper dot load template. Then I want to load text.tmp. Just in case, let me just create another template also. Full.txt. So I cannot do full file. So this is a template, and if I can just do tpl dot execute if then I want to write it to standard output and new. I'm not passing in data. Then if there's no error, or if there's an error rather, then I want to print out the error. So I don't need this anymore. So if I run the code now, I'm getting an error. So you'll be wondering, the error says something about no such file or directory. So you'll be wondering that what the file is there and directory is there. So what is now the problem? Because if I go back, let me just make sure I'm doing the right thing. From the current directory to the template, which is this, and the name, which is text.tmp. That's what I'm passing into this place. But I'm not finding it. Let me try for full.txt. See the same error. So you'll be wondering that why is it saying no such file or directory? Maybe I'm not putting the right directory or the right path, because it's saying open does this, it can't find this. So maybe I'm supposed to route it from the path from my root. So I can just route it from this root, and we'll see if it will work still. So I can do from root, go into the templates, then go into helpers rather. It's actually in helpers. Then go into templates. Then check for that particular name, and if I run this, I'll still be having the same thing. So it is still telling me that it can't find this here. So what is the problem? I started making my research and to find solutions to the problem. But what I found out that most of the things that I saw online, most of them were just basically a lot of code. So I decided to look into the embed package, because I've seen it in action before, but I haven't really deep dived into it. So the embed package actually solves all these problems. So the very first thing in embed we will look at is just basically the very basic one. So for the basic one, I'll just simply create a file here. I'll call it bar.txt before we go into our templates. So I'll just call it bar file. So embed at the very basic level, the way it works is you do a comment, then you do go.embed. So this must be exactly this way. So a comment like double / for the comments, then go, no space in between, then colon then embed. So after that, the next parameters or the next things that will be following this will basically the files that you want to embed. So I want to embed bar.txt. So that's the first thing it sells. So now this cookie line is saying because I have to import embed, I have to import package embed for go embed to know that okay, I'm trying to embed. So for that, I'll just import embed. So now that I'm not importing embed, because I'm not really using it for anything for the main time, so I'll just put an underscore before it. Then from here, under this, I can do var s string. So what this s basically is actually going to read the files or the contents inside bar.txt. So that is basically what s will do. So yeah, I can do font println s. So I have to import font. So if I print out s now and I run it, I'm getting bar file. So I can also print out as a slice of bytes instead of as a string. So I can do slice of bytes. Then if I print this out, it should give it to me as a slice of bytes, and I can just convert this to a string in this place. So I'm getting bar file still. So at the very basic level, that is how embed works. So what if this file, for example, I don't want to read the content in it, I want to get it as like maybe a file that it is or something. How do I go about that? So the package embed has a particular type called fs. So let me just clear my console. Go doc embed fs. So this package embed has the type fs. So the type fs has three methods: open, read dir, and read file. So what I can just basically do is I can actually do a var reader should be of type embed fs. So this reader is just going to be a placeholder to read everything inside this bar.txt. So if you come back to this documentation here, you saw that this type fs has three methods: open, read dir, and read file. So what open is for is to actually work with files, and read file also is to work with files, but read dir is to work with directories. So definitely you can also use the package embed to read directories, not only files. So let's take everything one by one. The first one is open. So how does open work? So I can just simply do. So before I actually show how it works, there's also one thing I forgot to mention. So this embed, apart from ordinary bar.txt, I can actually add more files to it. So to do that, I also put it a space. Then the other files I want to actually add, I can do helpers and then templates. Even as I'm typing, my compiler is already telling me that if I remove this s, it is telling me that no matching file found. So that means it's actually checking as I'm typing, it's checking in my directory to see if there's any file or any parts like this. So if I put my s back, it will go away because there's actually helpers in this template. So I want to actually also read full.txt. Then I can copy this and I can do text.cmp. That is basically it. So the first one is open. So for open now, I cannot simply do reader because it is actually a method on type embedded first. So I can do reader.open. Oh, I need to take this off because I'm already calling a function now. Reader.open. So the first one is actually the name of the file I want to open. So the name of the file I want to open is bar.txt. That is basically it. So this one returns for me it returns two variables. The first one is a type pointer to file or type. The first one is of type file, not pointer, type file of fs file. So I can just simply do file and error should be this. Then I'll check for my error. So if there's an error, I'll just simply print out the error and just do open. So I can do plus error. Then I'll return. So with that, I have my file. So to read for my file, I can use ioutil read file or read all rather. And I'm passing my file into it. Then it returns a byte slice and an error. So I just simply check for the error again. So this one actually, I think it has a close method. Let's say okay, it has a close method. So that's always one thing you should always check for. So I can just defer the close. So if there's an error and the error is not equals to, if there's an error rather, I'll just simply copy this and I'll do ioutil. It's not a good practice to use uppercase in error messages. So for me, I can just simply print out the contents in BS. So since BS is a byte slice, I'll just convert it to a string before printing it out. So we'll run the program. So that's it. I have my bar file. So if I want to take any of these files inside a directory, I have to copy the old directory. So that's one thing you need to note. You have to copy the old directory, not just the name of the file, because embed.fs will go into the related path and check for it there. So that is it. So I'll run this and it gives me what is in full. Then I can do the same thing for my tmp. So hello world. So that is basically what is in the three files. So the next one we want to look, so if you go back to our embed package, the next one we want to look at is read file. So read file is kind of like a faster way to do open. So instead of us having to do open, you can also read file. So once you use read file, it won't be returning a file, it will be returning a byte slice, which is basically what is inside the file. So to do that, we just simply I'll cut out everything here. So I'll do reader dot read file. So the name of the file I want to read is let me read this, the full file, full txt. So this one returns a byte slice and error. So I can do bs and error should be this, should be equal to the result from this. So I'll check for my error. I'll just print out the error. So I can do read file. Then I'll return. Else I'll just print out the content in the file. So I'll convert it to a string first because it's a byte slice. So then I'll run the code. And saying I'm not using iutil, but I have it imported. So I'll run it again. So there we have its full file. So if we change this one to text.tmp, and I run it again, so I'm having my hello world, which is basically what's inside text.tmp. So that is all for you. For then the last one is read directory. So that one is to read directory. So basically I'll take this off first. Then directory I want to read will be the what I'll pass into this place as argument. So and directory basically is the helper template or whatever directory is, but it has to be related to this part, the part of this particular folder you're working in. So if I'm working in helpers.go, for example, okay, let's do something more interesting. No, let us do it in main.go, let us do it in helpers.go, so we'll understand better how it works. So from here now, we'll just take out the import statement. My auto import will do it for me. So what this basically does is, what we want to do in our load template now is we'll just simply do our go embed. So we'll do embed go embed, then the directory we want to read. So directory we want to read is basically this templates directory. So I'll just do templates, which is this directory here. That's what we want to read. So what we just simply do is, or before load templates, I actually just want to like read the directory basically. So this one will not return anything. This should not return anything. So basically I just want to read directory. I can call it function read directory. So this one will just display the names in the directory for us. So what does this do? So to read the directory, we are going to declare our embed.fs again. So that's one very important thing. So it's telling me because I haven't import package embed, so I have to import embed. So we'll do our var, we can call it die reader, should be of embed fs. So that is it. So for here to read directory, we'll do die reader dot read directory. So the directory we want to read is basically the templates directory. So this one returns how many variables? Two variables. So the first one is of fs dir entry. So I can do directory entry and error will be equal to the result from this. And I'll check for my error. So if there's an error, I'll print out the error. Then I'll return. So I need to import forms. So for me now, this direct entry is basically a slice of directory entry. So this slice basically is just a way of saying, okay, I have, for example, what will be in this slice basically is just the number of files in this particular directory. So if I'm to print, let me just quickly print out the length of that entry, and we'll see what we'll get. So the length is, oh, I should call this in my main package main. So I can just simply call helpers dot read dir. So I don't need all this here. I also don't need this. So I have two. This way I have two is because the number of files in this directory are just two files. So that's basically it. So that means this direct entry is basically all the files inside this particular template folder. So to get each file, I can just range over it. I can do for underscore. So the file equals to each file will be equals to range dir entry. So from this now, so this file basically is a pointer to, is actually okay, not a pointer, it's actually a variable. So it's actually a variable of type fs dir entry. So if you quickly check the documentation for fs dir entry, so the method I'm looking for is method name. So this name just returns the name of the file. So I can just simply do, I can just print out the name of each file. So if you go back to our main.go, we've got it here. So if you run our code now, to just print out the names for us, which is food.txt and temp.txt. So that is how read dir works. So you can do anything with this. So the last now I'd like to go about now is basically our load templates function back. So if you want to see how we can use the package embed to load templates. So this is just going to basically give us, so what we just basically do here is just yeah, so what we basically just do here is just basically pass the name of the template we want to load, a string, then to return a pointer to template for us. So to load the template, the first thing we need to do is we need our directory reader, which is basically this, and it's going to read from our templates directory. So you can pass more directories into this place. Let's say I have another directory, maybe like in a directory HTML, which has my HTML files, and I want to load them as templates. So instead of me passing templates, I'll be passing HTML here as directory I want to read. So that is basically it. So what our load template does is it takes the name and returns the template for us. So to do that, the first thing we need to do is we need this part of the code. Or no, we really don't need this part of the code. So what we need basically is, if you go to our package templates, go.templates, there's a function passfs. Let me just do passfs. So this function passfs is what we actually need to load templates. So the first argument it takes actually is a type fs from package fs. So to be a type fs from package fs, let us see what you need to do. So if you do go doc fs, so to be a type fs, you need this method open that returns a file and an error. So if you go back to our documentation for our embed fs has this particular method open that returns a file and an error, which basically is what our type fs from package fs wants. So definitely if you are of type embed fs, then you are automatically of type fs from fs. That's basically it. I don't know if that English, if I actually explained that correctly. So basically what I said is, to explain again, to be of type fs from package fs, because what our template pass fs wants, it wants a type fs from package fs. So to be a type fs from package fs, you need to have this method open that takes in the name, which is the string, and returns a file and an error. And if you check our documentation for our embed fs, it has that particular method also. So if you are of type embed fs, that means you're also of type fs from package fs. So the first thing we'll pass into here is our embed fs, which is our directory reader, which is this. And the second one basically is just a pattern that we want to match, and this pattern basically is just the name of the particular template we want to load. So we have to route it based on the path to the template relative to this particular directory that we are in. So we're in this directory, so we're going to templates, then I want to load text.tmp as full. So this will return our template false and an error. So I can just simply do template dot, so I can wrap this in template must. So this one returns the template for us. Oh, sorry, we have a name, so that means we shouldn't be doing this. We should actually be doing this, then plus the name, which is basically what we want to load. So to make it more dynamic, so we'll just return the template. So back in our function main, we can just simply call this helper load template, and we'll pass in the name, which is temp.tmp. It's text, not temp. Text tmp. So this one will return our template for us. So what we'll just simply do is we'll check, so we'll execute the template. So if there's an error, we'll print out the error. Silly me. So print it, then we'll paste the error out. Then we'll return. So from here onwards, so just simply moving on is just simply, I guess that's all. Yeah, that is all for it. We are not doing anything else. So we have our template and we're executing it to standard output. So run the code. I have hello. So that is it. So if I change this to full.txt, so I have my full file. So which is basically what is inside this place. That's how package embed works. So that's what I have for today's video. So if you like the video, make sure you drop the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, once again, make sure you subscribe and also share the video if you know you found enough value in this that you also want others to have this knowledge. So with that, I'll be signing out. Peace.